Alright Revo fans, this is a very exciting bike. We've got the Canyon Spectral on 8 CF. So CF, it's a carbon fibre front triangle, 150mm of travel front and rear via some Fox Performance suspension. Comes out of the box as a mullet, very fun, very nimble bike. We've got a 445 reach on the medium, so it's not very long, more aimed at being a bit of a play, nimble trail bike rather than a big bruiser at 150mm of travel. We've got a 66.5 head tube angle, so again, we're not real raked out. Front wheel is a little bit further towards us. We've still got a nice short offset, but we're really finding it's real nice and comfortable in the corners. It likes to be thrown around quite a lot. 74.5 seat angle, so very comfortable on the climbs. Yeah, it's been a really fun bike. Some of the other e-bikes that we've been testing lately, big bruisers, 170mm of travel, look, they do have their own place, but we really have been finding that with the added weight of those bikes, they're just getting a bit too long, a bit too aggressive for all that added weight. So this thing out of the box is 23.5 kilos, so we've got a big battery in there, we can go all day. I find that this is maybe a bit better all-round bike. Component wise, we've got a Shimano XT 12-speed group set and brakes. Obviously we've got the Shimano Ep8 motor. This is my first time on the Ep8 motor. I owned a bike with the previous generation, so I was very well acquainted with that. There's been a few complaints from people about a little bit of extra noise, but to be honest, on the trail I haven't noticed it at all. Definitely feels like a bit more of a linear addition of power. Obviously that's tunable. I spend most of my time in the trail mode unless I'm really hurting. Yeah, so that Ep8 motor is awesome. Really good piece of kit. I think it's definitely an improvement over the previous generation, even though some people have been talking about a bit of extra noise, but if that's the worst thing about it, then so be it. We've got a Canyon carbon fibre one-piece carbon bar and stem. It's a little bit of an interesting look at first. To be honest, it was a little bit tricky to get used to it. The angles on it feel very nice, but just to look down and see a bit of a weird swoop was a little bit, not off-putting, but it just took a while to get used to. Once you get used to it and you get over the fact of how it looks, it rides just as normal as any other bar or stem. Got a Canyon seat with a little bit of the e-bike step up the back there. Does look a little bit funky, but you can really lock your bum in there as you're climbing up and you just get heaps more traction. You can really push against it to get up those steeper climbs. We've got a DT Swiss H1700 spline wheel set. Nice strong wheel set, Maxxis tyres obviously. Fox suspension as I mentioned earlier, so we've got the Performance 36 up the front, Performance DPX2 out the rear. I've had a really good play around with some air tokens on these forks. That's one thing I feel maybe some people aren't spending enough time on, is really getting the suspension tuned in on their e-bikes. There's a lot of extra weight, a lot of extra inertia there, so it does take a little bit more fiddling to get it set up as efficiently as you'd like on the e-bike. So coupled with the new Shimano Ep8 motor, we've got a 630 watt-hour battery on this bad boy. Up to this date, I haven't been able to drain it. I drained myself before I drained the battery. That's going up and down some pretty gnarly climbs and full-on downhill tracks. So on a trail bike ride day, I did 55 Ks and we came home, we still had just over 1 bar left. So yeah, this thing will go absolutely all day. And I think that really is the point of this bike. At 150mm travel, a little bit shorter in comparison to your modern geometry, it's just a really good all-rounder. You'll absolutely smash it, you'll flick it through nice corners, you can still go and blast out a downhill run, really nice and nimble through jumps, rock gardens, but it's just as at home and comfortable riding up every hill that you can poke it up, and yeah, just blasting fire roads to and from, bit of adventuring. That's what we like to do on our e-bikes, is we get out there and suss out the new trails and where can we build a little link here or there. You can just go all day on it. So the Spectral on 8 CF is going to be for someone who isn't necessarily looking for a self-shuttleable downhill bike, even though it is capable of that. It will probably wear thin after a little while. It's for somebody who's after an all-rounder. Yeah, we've been loving it, and yeah, can't wait to see where we can get on it.